Chaque film durait 50 secondes. Nous allons en découvrir une centaine. Ainsi, avec des films Lumière, nous allons faire un film Lumière.
When you think about the contemporary audiences that you see in Cannes, why should they be watching Lumiere films now? Why should people today care about what happened 130 years ago?
Because in the history of cinema, there is nothing but talking about mise en scène, talking about acting, talking about dialogue, screenplay, and much more because it's how time made those films important. And contemporary cinema, I think it's the same. You have to judge the mise en scène, the acting, the screenplay, the visual, and what is the identity of the film. And talking about Lumière, I used to say that watching Lumière films is a way of washing your eyes. Because our eyes are polluted by all the images we have seen, not only from the history of cinema, but from television, from advertising, from now, internet, and so on. So going back to that cinema made by shot after shot, one shot, 50 seconds, what is the meaning of that shot? Because Lumière is one shot. Cinema is not about images, it's about shots. And Lumière started with what is a shot, and a shot has different meanings, and especially that it's movement.
Yeah.
That's why the first film is a movement.
So let's go back to Lumiere. Who were the Lumiere brothers and what were they doing?
Well, the Lumière family, the Lumière brothers, were two. They had sisters. And one of the important characters of that story is the father, Antoine. And Antoine was the kind of artist of the family. But the two sons, the two brothers, they were quite brilliant students. And they invented quite early, at the end of the 80s of the 19th century, they invented a process for photography. That process, which was something to make photography more domestical, more personal,
More accessible? So
more
you could take it
accessible,
home? Yeah.
made the family very rich. And then they built that factory in that neighborhood called Montplaisir. Because Lumière is the real name of the family. Because of one of the ancestors was the guy who put the light with the fire in his village.
He was the lamplighter.
Yeah. And we think that it's how the name came from. And the name of the neighborhood in Lyon, where they invented cinema, was Mon Plaisir, my pleasure. So the light brother from My Pleasure, nobody could compete against such an origin. So they became rich, and the father used to go to Paris and to see a lot of things, modern, new, and one day, at the end of the summer 1894, he went to see something which was the kinetoscope by Thomas Edison. And he was quite impressed by that image because he knew that everyone in the world was looking for that, how to create a moving image after photography. But he said he was quite frustrated by that small image and that individual machine. You have to pay to get the image. And he said, no, we have to take the image out and to put it on a big screen.
So that was the father's idea?
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
fighter. First in Paris, he said, I go back to Lyon. My sons will find out something. So he came back. Auguste, the older brother, started to think about that. He couldn't succeed. And then one day, Louis, because of the mechanism of the sewing machine, Louis got the idea of how to make the film in a regular speed in order to get the perfect images of movement. And it happened one night, he couldn't sleep, so he thought about that. For that, the legend of that came from his brother saying, in one night, my brother invented cinema.